How can the world expect Israel to be accepted among tribal enemies? Is this a border issue, or?
Look, the view to Israel is that this state actually doesn't belong in the Middle East, because the nature of Israel is different from the nature of entities in the Middle East. Israel is not a tribal society. Israel is a democracy. People came to Israel as individuals, immigrants, or olim chadashim, and we shaped a society from scratch. This is totally different from the environment of Israel, which is much more tribal, much more ethnic, and much more religious, and much more sectarian, as it is inside Israel. And of course, we have also our sects and Haredim, all those, but definitely the state as a whole is much less tribal, much less ethnic, and much less. So definitely Israel is viewed as some kind of foreign, let's say, implant into the Middle East. And this is the source of the ways of how Arabs and Muslims look at Israel. Add to this the fact that we Jews are viewed by Muslims as descendants of apes and swines, and those who should be subjugated to Islam. And definitely we have no right to be a state and to be independent and to be separate. We have to be subjugated to Islam. So for both points of view of tribalism on one side and the Islamic side, Israel has no right to exist as a modern, normal, Western-like Jewish state.
In the eyes of the Muslim world?
In the eyes of the Muslim world, definitely. Definitely has no right to exist. This is why the only way for Israel to exist is by convincing the others that they better leave us alone. Means by force, by iron fence between Israel and them, by all kinds of means which Israel should take in order to be viewed as invincible. Because only if Israel is invincible, Israel will be left alone. Not for peace, but to be left alone. And this is actually what Middle Eastern peace means, that you are left alone to live your life.
How does this tribalism affect Muslims in America or in the West, their view of their Christian host countries' populations?
Well, don't forget that tribalism might be very unpleasant to individuals who don't like it. So they run away, they flee from their countries, and they find refuge in other countries which accept them, like in Europe, in America. So those individuals who come to this country as individuals definitely prefer to live in America or in Europe rather than living in tribal societies in the Middle East.
But don't we have fundamentalism in mosques throughout the West and populations throughout the West?
Yes, there is a minority within the Muslims who try to radicalize the other Muslims. Most of the Muslims came to America to be, normal citizens, working citizens, and to enjoy the freedoms which America provides. But a small minority try to shake the boat because Americans are infidels, Americans are deserve a jihad against them and so forth. Those have to be found and be ousted because they don't fit the American mindset. They don't share the American view, they don't share the American dream, and they should be shown the way to societies which fit better their mindset.
How about in Western European Muslim societies, like Germany, Belgium, France, Great Britain? Is there a tribal attitude also towards the infidel or the Christians?
There, I think the thinking is more Islamic rather than tribal, because when they become a majority in a neighborhood, they start working like an Islamic country. They have their own food and their own shops and their own public sphere and, of course, mosques and so forth, and education. And they tend not to become part of the blend of the country which hosts them. And this is actually the problem in Europe. And if America allows immigration, too big immigration of Muslims into this country, America might find itself in the same situation in 10, 15 years from now.